Welcome to math, where every solution just leads to more problems. And welcome back to the channel. It's your host, Noah Rodriguez, and today's episode is more for all the beginners, for all you guys who are just recently getting into the amusing and intriguing world of math. Today's topic is general math terminology. That is to say, all the newcomer beginner stuff that everybody should have as their fundamentals for continuing throughout the rest of math. So, first off, we're going to talk about adding. So, for this example, first of all, it is important to know that the addition symbol, which is a plus, is the one that's used in this kind of operation. We're going to give you the example of 2 plus 2. Now, to understand how 2 plus 2 works, or how addition works, we have to imagine what each of the number means. So for example, let's say you had 2 blocks. And then you add another 2. That is to say, you make another 2 right next to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this case, your answer will be 4. Wonderful. Second one. Subtraction. In this case, the sign you would be using is a negative sign or a subtraction sign. We're going to use a reverse example of this, since it is very important to note that these two are, in fact, interchangeable. So, in subtraction, you can have 4 minus 2. So again, we can just use this example right here. You imagine the 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the minus 2, that means you take away 2. So let's just hollow these out. Now you count the ones that are remaining, 1, 2, so 4 minus 2 gives you 2. Wonderful. Easy so far. Very, very, very simple. Now, we're going to get to the next ones. These ones are a little bit more advanced, but still have a similar premise. So we're going to go to multiplication. In this case, you can see various symbols depending on what stage of math you're in. You can see a simple X, or the times symbol. You can see a simple dot, or you can also see an asterisk. You probably will see this one if you're on computer. Now, for multiplication, we're going to use the example of 2 times 2. Now, something to think about when you multiply is that the first number is the value you are multiplying, and then the second number is the one you're multiplying it by. And basically how multiplication works is that you take that first number, and then whatever the second number is, you add this number to itself that many times. So for example, to draw it out, we're going to draw this one over here to have a little bit more space. 2 times 2, means that you would add 2 to itself twice, which in this case, as we discussed up here, in this case is 4. This case would be 4. Now, for another example, so we can get better understanding, 2 times 3. Now, 2 times 3 would mean you add 2 plus 2 plus 2, which in this case, you add these 4, right? So if you had the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you would add 2 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be 6. Easy. Now, the opposite of multiplication is also very important, and it's opposite because it's basically the reverse, same way that addition and subtraction work, is division. Now, division you will see in various different ways. Same thing goes for multiplication. You will see this symbol, or you will see a number up top and a number on the bottom, which are fractions, which will be discussed in another video. Or in the case of long division, you will see this. Oh, whoops, wrong one. You will see this and then a number on the inside. So for this example, we're going to do the reverse of both of these to show off how it works. So let's use this sign as our reference. Same way we use this one. And we're going to go 4 divided by 2. Now, if 2 times 2, or any multiplication in general, is a first number, and then the amount of times you will add that number to itself, then Division would be the opposite in the sense that of how many pieces will you divide something into. So 4 divided into 2 pieces, as we know over here, is 2. To put it into better perspective for the next problem, which will be the opposite of this, 6 divided by 2, or 6 divided by 3, 6 divided by 2. We'll go with 6 divided by 2. So if we have 6 pieces to a pie, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not very even, but you understand the message. If we have 6 pieces to the pie and we divide it into half or into 2, that means we have to divide it into 2 parts. Which in this case, you could just divide it into 1/2 of the other one. Since this would be one whole part, this would be one part, and this would be the other. If you subtract this part, in this other part that remains, there's 1, 2, 3, which in this case will be 3. Pretty simple. And these are very, very important subjects and topics and concepts that will help you progress forward in math. No matter what grade you're in, whether it be first grade, second grade, third grade, all the way up until even college, when you do all the crazy stuff, you will always be using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division in every single problem. And that's what's really interesting about math, because it just continues forward. So, thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we'll see you in the next one.